Hi everyone and welcome to the presentation of the MIDI Split menu. So MIDI Split is one of the most useful effects of the Romagnetics Midynamite. Let's see a couple of ways to use this effect. So MIDI Split is at the very beginning of the chain of effects, so it allows you to transform your Midynamite into two Midynamites. But before we talk about buses, let's go through some of the more basic functionalities. So as you can see here, I have the Korg Volca and the Yamaha reface, and the out of the reface goes into the Romagnetics Midynamite, and then it fits back into both the Volca FM and the reface CP, and local is off. If I set here, I have MIDI Split set to on with MIDI channel 14. So 14 is the Volca FM and 15 is the reface. And you can see I have the type is note and the split note is E3, meaning that everything that is above E3 is going to be played on channel 15 and everything that is below is going to be played on channel 14. So if I play, I have pipes on the Korg Volca, so if I play a chord, as you can see, I can play one synth with one hand and another synth with another hand. So that's the basic functionality of the MIDI Split. So as you can see, we have three modes. So here we have note, we have MIDI channel, I have split set to channel number 8, meaning that every synthesizer that is connected to channel 1 to 7 is going to be on the low part, and everything that is 8 and up will be on the high part. So this is mainly used if you have two keyboards. You can use two keyboards to play absolutely anything in your studio, and you can change it on the fly with your Romagnetics Midynamite. If we change type to velocity, now everything that is lower velocity, so below 76, will be channel 14, so that will be the organ, and everything that is above 76 will be played by the piano. So if I play really quietly, I'm getting the sound of the organ, but if I'm playing louder, I'm getting the sound of the reface. If we use a drum sound, this can give us something like that, with low velocity playing one part and high velocity playing another part. Now, splitting your notes into two different MIDI channels playing two different synthesizers is a very handy tool. But now we are going to talk about the buses, which is where MIDI Split really shines. Now both are on dry, but as you can see, I can change to bus 1, bus 2 and all. So when it's dry, it's going to go directly from MIDI Split to MIDI out, so the note is not going to be changed. If I put it on all, then it's going to go through all the effects that are currently on. So now, as you can see, I have low to all and high to dry. And since MIDI transpose is currently on with a fifth up, 7 semitones up. So as you can see, the high part is dry, meaning that I can play the piano without changes. But now if I play the low part, which is the Volca, which has a marimba sound, it has that fifth up. If I set it back to dry, the effect is not changing it, but if I set it to all, I have it like that. Now, let's say you don't want to have dry and all. Let's say, for example, you want to have MIDI transpose on the left hand and you want to have a MIDI modifier on the right hand. This is actually really easy to do. You just have to go to page 2, and then we can have MIDI transpose on bus 1 and we can have MIDI modify on bus 2. So the bus settings basically allow you to choose which effect goes to which part, and this is where you basically have two pedals, is because your low part could play some effects, your right part could play other effects, and you can also have effects going to both. So if you, for example, let's say we want to have modify to bus 2 transpose to bus 1 like we did before, but I want arpeggiator on both parts. Then we can activate the arpeggiator, and then we have the arpeggiator for both the left and the right hand. So this is really handy if you want to have complex parts. Now, like any effects on the Romagnetics Midynamite, there's 1,000 different ways of combining the effects. I just want to show you a couple of ways to do it. So right now I have my marimba on the left hand and my piano on the right hand. And let's say that I want my piano to be actually lower than what it is right now. If I just play an octave lower, then my marimba will be an octave lower as well. So that's where we can use buses. And I have MIDI transpose to bus 1. I have low to dry, high to bus 1. And now if I go to MIDI transpose and I do, for example, -2 octaves, that's how it sounds without the modification. So I can play a couple of notes. If I want to do it 2 octaves lower with my bass or without my bass, so I can have my bass here, but with the bass here. Here I'm doing it with the chords without modification and the melody with -2 octaves. This also works very well if you have your left hand playing a bass and you have plus or -1 octave, and then you can play the melody or the chords with the right hand. It works really well. As we saw earlier, you can also use MIDI Modify to either send one of your parts to 2 synthesizers, so you can layer them only on one part, or you can also change the velocity of only one part, which is what we saw earlier. And the last use I want to talk about, it's probably the funniest of all, is MIDI Arpeggiator. Here's an example of what you can do with MIDI Arpeggiator on one hand and the melody on the other. With that, you can play the arpeggiator on only one part. These were only some ways to use the Romagnetics Split function of the Midynamite, but don't hesitate to put any questions you may have in the comment or say how you use yours. The detailed manual is available on romagnetics.com. Also, the software of the Romagnetics Midynamite is fully open source, so don't hesitate to take a look on our GitHub page to get more information. See you.